Afternoon, everyone. How are we all? For some reason I can't see anyone's comments at the moment. Don't you just love Facebook? How is everyone anyway? Are you all okay? Even though I can't see your comments. Oh, there we are. I think I found it now. Very strange. Right, I've just pinned a link to the to our Facebook to our website, where everything that I'm showing today is on. Right, so let me have a look. So Peter, hi Annie, hi Diane, hi Tina, hi Helen. Oh, hi Annie again, hi Peter again. Good, hope everyone's all right. We always like to start a few minutes early if we can, just to just to let everyone get on. Hi Gaynor. Facebook keeps changing, doesn't it? All the time they keep changing how they do things. And it's not usually for the better. I never know what's going on. So if I miss any comments, I apologise, but hopefully I should be all right. Everyone looking forward to a bit of Fuzzies? I certainly am. Anyone else coming on? So if you could all do me a favour and share this live on your timelines or in any crafty groups, as long as you've got permission to share in those groups, that would be fab. Every little helps. And anyone that you think might be interested but can't actually get on now because they're working or got other commitments, if you can let them know about it, share it with them, then they can watch this back afterwards, either on Facebook, on our Facebook page, or on YouTube. We always upload the videos to YouTube. It might take an hour or so afterwards, but we always do that. Hi Carolyn, hello Brenda, thank you for joining us, or me. Right, 2 o'clock. So should we get started? Yes, why not? Right, I love the Fuzzies, and a lot of people like the Fuzzies. I'm absolutely obsessed with them. So this is a card that we actually did. Creative Expressions, every so often they do a retailer event. So we did it where are we now? It was probably in last month sometime, and it's just for retailers. So we get sneaky peeks of all the new products that are coming out in the next 3 months. We do some demos. We have some demos and card tutorials, and this is one of the ones that we did actually with Jane Gill, who designed all these stamps and the wobbler die and everything. Hello Alison, thank you for joining. Yeah, we love Creative Expressions. They support us so much more than all of our other suppliers, and that's why we buy quite a lot of Creative Expressions products. So we've just had some Sue Wilson new dies delivered, so they'll be in the shop tomorrow. So we've got the Fuzzies, we've got Jamie Rogers tea bag folding dies and stamps, and Ian's hoping to do a Facebook Live on those at some point soon. There are a few videos on our Facebook page as well if you're interested in looking at those. But today we're going to have a bit of a play with the Fuzzies. So this one, if you look at it, this is Sadie the sheep. I think it's Sadie the sheep, let me just check. Yeah, Sadie the sheep. And she's jumping over a fence, as you can see. And she's got a little wibbly wobbly head. So it wobbles, and it's really good fun. So I'm not going to be doing this card today, but I will be doing a very similar one using one of the other stamps. So this is the Wibbly Wobbly die. I love that, Wibbly Wobbly. So it comes with 3 different size dies. So you get the smallest, the medium, and the big wobbler. And I think on Sadie I used the smallest one because we actually had that sent to us by Creative Expressions. But today I think I'm going to use the middle one because I'm going to do, what's his name? Parker the puppy today. So because he's a bit bigger, his head's a bit bigger, so I'm going to use the bigger one. So you can choose whichever one you want. Doesn't make any difference. Okay. So that's the Wibbly die, Wibbly Wobbly die. Get 3 dies in that. Any questions? Feel free to ask. It is popping up on the comments now. So there are 10 different stamp sets to choose from. We have still, at time of recording, we do still have all 10 of them. And he loves the doggy one. Yay! He's so cute. Parker the puppy. Yeah, so there are 10 different ones. We've got some of them, but we haven't personally, that is. But they're all in stock in the shop. So we've got Sadie the sheep, Parker the puppy. I've also got Pablo the pig. Pablo the pig is fab. I love him. He's so cute. We've also got these are the 3 ducks. So we got Morris, James, and Bill. Obviously, obvious names for ducks, aren't they? Really? Yes. So so that's that one, and we've also got Bella the bunny. But there are also, if I have a quick look on the website, there's also Freddie the fox, Connie the cow, Clara the chicken, Katie the kitten, and Maisie the mouse. So they're all on the website or in the shop. If you want to have a look at those. Yeah, so today I'm going to be using, I was tempted to use Pablo actually, but I've decided on Parker the puppy is who I'm going to use today. So together with this, whenever they Creative Expressions do the retailer events, they also send us some instruction sheets for each of the cards that we've made or projects that we've made on the event. So I have actually uploaded the card instructions for doing the sheep card onto our website. So if you don't know where it is, if you go onto our website valleycraft.co.uk, and then at the top you've got the different options, and one of them is called More, and then if you scroll down there's one called Free Instruction Sheets. So if you want, I could actually put a little post, a little link to that on this live. Bear with. I just post that. There we are. So that one, if you click on that, that'll take you straight to the website and straight to the instructions, free instruction sheets page. There's quite a few different projects that you can do. The last ones we had were Christmassy ones, but there's all sorts on there. And if you click on one of them, it'll open up with a PDF that you can then either save to your computer or you can print out and keep and just follow on and access whenever you want. Afternoon, Donna. How are you? Right, so let's crack on. It's amazing how quickly time goes, isn't it? I've got lots of space today. We've twiddled with our little setup, and I've got lots of room on the table, and we've got our light on as well, so it's nice and bright. See, Carolyn, it's nice and bright, our light. That's one, you went for one of those, didn't you, as well? Anyway, I'm babbling. So the first thing I've got is, I've made up already just a card base. So this one, it does actually say on the instructions 177 millimeters by 126 millimeters, but it basically works out 5 by 7 inches. So if you're an inch person, it's 5 by 7. So this is just our 300 gram super smooth card. But you could use the pick a mix card or any other type of card that you have. But 300 gram is the sort of the minimum that I would use for that. So that has already been done. And then what I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do, because around the edges, if you can see this, the base card has got a green background on it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to ink around the edges of the base card, because then when I stick my topper on, you won't see the middle of it. So I just need to ink around the edges for that. So I've got a couple of blending brushes. You could use blending brushes, you could use blending tools, the ones with the wooden handle. You could use smoothies, those little spongy things, anything like that. So I'm also using, these are pigment inks. I do like pigment inks. We are going to stop selling the Spectrum Noir pigment inks because a lot of our customers prefer the Distress Oxides. So Distress Oxides are pigment based, so they're the equivalent. So we do have some of those available in the shop, and we are trying to build up our collection of those. So I'm just going to quickly go around the edge. With these brushes, they're quite subtle as well, so they do tend to take a bit of building up, which sometimes can be a good thing, because sometimes you don't want a load of colour on your card at once. But because we're not going to see most of this, because it's going to be covered up, I'm just going to go around the edges. So I haven't done a lot of prep for this. I've done a little bit, but I thought might as well just work through the whole thing. It's fairly straightforward card to make, so I thought, why not? The weather's not very nice today, so it's not like we've got anything better to do, is it? Has it been as wet everywhere else as it's been down in Caerphilly? It's been absolutely pouring hard all day. It's dried up a bit now, but it's been bucketing down. It's been raining cats and dogs. I haven't got the cat one. Katie the cat. I'm more of a dog person. Oh, Donna's shared our live. Thank you, Donna. Well trained. There we are. So as you can see, so that's quite nice, just as it is, isn't it? So I've just inked around the edges with that. Because these are dye-based, pigment-based inks, they're water-based. So let me just get rid of the excess on a scrap of paper. So I can just clean up this with water. So I'm just going to make sure I've got nothing in the way and just give this a quick squirt. Because everyone that knows me knows I don't use baby wipes or wet wipes or anything horrible like that. Because why do you need them, eh? You know, just a bit of water and an old duster or tea towel or cloth, old pair of undies, you know, anything like that. Make sure you wash it first and then just use that to clean up with. Much better. Much better. As Bag of Chips would say. There we are. So that's that. Easy squeezy. So the next thing I'm going to need to cut, which I've already done, is again from our 300 gram Super Smooth. And on the instructions it does say 170 by 120 millimeters. But because this card, we actually cut it to 5 by 7. So this was actually a 1/4 of an inch. Get me using inches. This was actually a 1/4 inch under 5 by 7. So it just fits. You've just got a nice little bit of a border. I think basically it's a 5mm border. No, oh yeah, well, it's a bit more than 5mm. But that's going to sit in there, so as you can see the green around the edges, but you can't really see anything else. Like so. Right, so this bit is what I'm gonna be my main topper. So now this is the only sort of complicated bit, because I'm going to be doing this. Basically, there's a little semicircle that gets cut out, which allows your stamp to move backwards and forwards like that, just like that. So when we did the card initially and on the instructions, it tells you how to mark it out and then use a craft knife to actually cut out the semicircle, which is okay, but I'm actually going to show you how to do it with some circle dies. Works out much neater and cleaner, and actually I've already pre-done one just in case I go horribly wrong. I've already pre-done it here, so it's much cleaner and tidier, but I'll show you how to do that now. So let me get my ruler and my pencil. Oh, actually before that I also need to die cut, well I've already done it, a circle. So this was out of my nesting dies, and it needs to be around about 95 millimeters. From I've actually used the press cut nesting dies, and this one actually comes out about 98 millimeters. So it doesn't matter if it's a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, because it's actually going to be going behind this part, the semicircle part. So you're not going to, as long as it fits within that area, it's not going to be a problem if it's a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. Alright, so I've die cut that already out of my nesting die, my circle nesting die. So I'll put that to the side at the moment because I don't need that yet. I'm not going to do the fence because I'm using Parker. He's a little bit bigger, and he doesn't really need the fence, I don't think, so I'm going to do the flowers and then I'm just going to do him, and I think that'll be fine. I mean, if you wanted to do a fence, it does say on the instructions to use a cheesecloth die, which sort of looks a bit like a fence, but I think a fence looks better because he's supposed to be sort of jumping over it on that. Oh, hi Bev, how are you? Oh, hi Tracy, thank you for joining. Right, so, and then the only other thing that I've already pre-die cut is my little Wibbly Wobbly. So this was the medium one, and you just die cut that out of your 300 gram card or something similar, and it comes out like that. Dead simple. So that's what's actually going to be the wobbler for the head. Okay. All with me so far? Clear as mud? Right, so now back to this. So this was my topper piece, which is 1/4 inch under 5 by 7 inches. And what I need to do is I need to measure from the top. Now on the instructions it says 70 millimeters down, because basically it's, if I show you on this one, 70 millimeters from the top is here. And well, actually 70 millimeters from the top is higher than this because I've actually done a bit more. But 70 millimeters is there. So basically that is going to be your sort of horizon line, and then you're going to do your semicircle above if you're doing the sheep one. But because I'm doing the dog, Park of the puppy, so I've actually gone 10 centimeters lower, just so that I've got enough room for him to sit comfortably, and he'll wobble nicely, and he won't sort of pop off the top of the card, if you know what I mean. So, as I said, I'm going to measure 80 millimeters down from the top. So if I do it over here, just mark it with a pencil, and then over here, and then just draw a little horizon line, just lightly across, because you're going to rub that out later. So you don't want it to be too much. And then what I'll also do is, while I'm here, I might as well measure into the middle. So this is just over 12 centimeters. So it's going to be 6 centimeters will be the center. And I need to know the center because I'm going to have to put a hole later on, and that's going to be to allow the circle to move. Okay, so so what I've done, I've actually already got my 2 dies ready. So on the press cut dies, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but they do have little marks. It must be, I think, that that indicate the sort of the middle of the die. You probably can't see it. You probably can't see it on this because they're really quite subtle. But it does have little blips to show where the center is. So it makes it a lot easier to be able to line it up, because basically I just line up the centers with this pencil line that I've drawn across. So if I just move it down a little bit so I can see what I'm doing, and I've got a little bit of tape to stick, and what I'm doing is I'm sticking the tape at the top, because then it makes it less confusing for when I come to do my partial die cutting, so I don't get all mixed up as I did yesterday. So if I bring my die cutting machine in, like so, this is the Kaleido, but you could use any machine. And then what I need to do, because I'm partially die cutting, I only want to die cut this part. So I don't want to die cut this part at all. So this is when I have to get my head around it. Basically, I want to position my card and my dies, and then I need to put the top cutting plate like that. So it only goes to that pencil line, the sort of the horizon line. So it's only going to cut that part on the right hand side. It's not going to cut anything on the left hand side, because there's nothing to cut. So the easiest way I found it was to actually have it so that your plate goes in to the machine beforehand. Otherwise sometimes it can be a bit awkward to get it to go through, especially if it's a windy manual machine like this one is. So just carefully push it in and then wind it through like so. Bing. Pop out that side, and then hopefully you can see that all it's done is it's just die cut the top half of the circle die. It hasn't die cut anything on the bottom half of that die. Does that all make sense? Anyone need me to show that again, or you're okay with that? Obviously you can do it without dies. You can just do it manually and just draw a pencil line to actually mark where the semicircle needs to be, and then just use a craft knife to cut it out. But I found I struggled a little bit with doing it like that. I don't tend to. I'm not very good with craft knives, so it was a little bit messy. Which is why, when you move my little Sadie the sheep's bum out of the way, is a little bit of a nick, because it didn't quite cut properly. So I tend to leave her bum over there, so you can't see. Okay, right. So that was my die cut, my partial die cutting. What's Donna saying? These stamps are so cute. You only want one or two until you see them all, and then you're in trouble. You want them all. I hear you, Donna. I hear you. It's very true. They are very cute. Yeah. So I've only left that on there just for the purpose of this demonstration. So what I'll do is I'll take that to pieces and put that back on my magnetic sheet later. So all I need to do now, because I've die cut this area here, the semicircle, I just need to cut across these bits to cut out this little bit here. So I'll take my other mat out of the way for the moment, so I don't want to cut into that, and find my knife. So this is my self-heal cutting mat under here, or you could use a glass cutting mat. Either of those are fine. And then I've got my metal edge ruler. So don't use a normal plastic ruler, because if you're using a craft knife you might end up cutting into it and you'll make a right mess. So make sure that it's a metal edge ruler, and then you're safe. All right. So I'm just going to quickly use my craft knife and just cut from one bit to the other. Now even that's a bit of a struggle for me. Doesn't have to be perfect, because you're not really going to see it anyway. No, I haven't even cut that properly, have I? I told you I was useless with craft knives. I think that's done. Now you can see why I did a backup, just in case I ballsed it all up. Ooh! Nearly lost my pencil. There we are. So that's cut out of that. Makes it a lot easier doing it that way, rather than trying to work your craft knife around in a semicircle. Can be a bit of a challenge, but it depends on how good you are with craft knives. Okay, so that's that. And then the only other thing I need to do is make a little hole where I've done that little mark in the middle. I just need to make a little hole using my pokey tool, and then make sure that it's a big enough hole so that it'll fit nicely. When I put my brad through later, it'll fit nicely through that. So I might as well use the one I used earlier, because I've already rubbed the lines out on that. So it's up to you. You can either use that side, or you can turn it around and you can actually use that side, which doesn't have any lines on it, or you could just rub out that pencil line there. before you continue. Right, so I'll put that over there. Simple. Right, so now we're going to do a bit of stamping, and I'm also going to heat emboss as well. So if you're using inks and things like that, sometimes it's a good idea to stamp with a black ink or whatever colour you want to use, and heat emboss with a clear embossing powder. It just means that you're not going to get any bleeds, you're not going to have to worry about ink bleeding or anything like that. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use the flower stamps from Sadie the sheep. So if you wanted, you could use the hearts and the paw prints. No, I'm not going to do it, but I could do if I wanted. No, I'm going to stick with my original plan and do some flowers. Hello!
Hi everyone!
Ian's just turned up. You alright?
Yep. Right, I'll go and watch downstairs if anybody got questions.
Okie doke.
I can answer.
Bring my non-stick sheet back in again. Because this is heat resistant as well, so it doesn't matter if I heat onto this. So what I'm going to do, this is just my little bit of stamping foam. So you can use, if you've got a stamping pad, you could use that. This is actually the one from the Press to Impress. I just like to use a stamping pad because it just can help to give a better finish when you stamp. I'm not the best stamper, so it just helps to give you a nicer finish when you're stamping. And the other thing I need to do is use my anti-static pad, because I'm going to be heat embossing. I need to remember to anti-static. I always like to get everything ready when I'm heat embossing. I get my embossing powder unscrewed and ready, and I get my ancient piece of capture paper ready. This piece of paper it's been in the family for probably about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. We like to reuse if we can. Right, so I have no idea what order I'm going to do the flowers in. They're nice little flowers, these are. You can do all sorts of different things with these. You could do a nice background with them. You can use them on all sorts of different projects. So I'm going to stamp all the flowers. I'm going to be brave because I'm actually using a VersaFine Clair ink pad. The ink does stay wet for quite a long time, so I should be okay stamping all of the flowers. And I'm going to go quite low as well, because I went a little bit higher before, but because my little puppy is quite big, actually I can probably go around about there, can't I? Yeah, so I should be alright. So I'm just going to randomly stamp a few of these. Quite a simple design. Go a little bit of a jaunty angle as well. I'll try the other one as well. And these are just the acrylic circle stamping blocks from Sentimentally Yours, but you could use a stamping press if you wanted to. It tends to be quicker if you're using acrylic blocks. And then the last one, go there. I think too much, that's my problem. I'm terrible for thinking. Like that. And then quickly pour my embossing powder over. And hopefully I should have been quick enough to, yeah, I think that's fine. It should still be wet enough for the embossing powder to stick. Not pop the excess back into my pot. I will be doing some more embossing, but I always try to put my lid back on because I know what I'm going to be like. And I didn't use my anti-static pad after, did I? I don't know, what am I like? So once you've put the embossing powder on, you don't have to worry too much. You don't have to rush. It's on there then. So you can take your time a little bit if you want. So I won't bother cleaning up these at the moment, but what I will do later is I'll use my trusty archival ink cleaner on the stamps just to give them a quick clean. Because I'm going to leave it for a while, it's probably going to dry a little bit, so I won't be able to just use water on that. So I should just get my heat tool. Let a quick blast. And it's the nice thing about stamping with a black ink and then putting clear embossing powder over the top is it's really easy to see when the embossing powder is melted, because the line art just goes really black. So it's dead easy to see. What's going on? There we are, so it's nice and shiny now. Make sure we don't put it on anything that's going to melt. There we are, so that's my little flowers, all heat embossed. See, and it dries, you know, more or less straight away, so you don't have to worry about that. So because I've used, because I've heat embossed them all, it means that ink is now fixed. So it doesn't matter what else I do now, that ink isn't going to move. Okay? Did I miss a bit there? No, I think I didn't. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this sort of graduated effect with the three different colours. So I'm going to start with the green, go into the yellow, and then finish with the blue. So the blue is sort of the sky, the green is the grass, and then the yellow is just the middle bit, really. Don't know what they call the middle bit. Anyone know? So, green first of all. Which one was my green one? That was my green one. So I'm going to use my blending tools again. And then go in and just sort of around about just the lower third of the card. I'm going to go in. It doesn't matter if you go over the flowers, because we're going to be colouring them later with alcohol inks. So I'm just working my way up. Nice and slowly. I do like inking. It's quite a fun thing to do. And it's nice with these blending brushes as well, because they do tend to be a bit more forgiving. Okay, so there's my bottom bit. And I'm not going to bother, I won't bother cleaning that up. I'll just go into my next colour, which is the yellow. Ian's tempting me. We've had a delivery of new products and he's showing me off camera. Ooh, lovely. I'll show everyone afterwards.
I'll leave them there for you.
Yeah, if you can find a space on the table.
That's one of everything we got.
They will be on the website, these new products, soon.
Brilliant.
I'm all ready. So the nice thing about with these brushes as well is if it's a stronger colour and you want a subtler effect, then hold the handle lower down, and then you won't get quite such a strong effect. But if you do want a stronger effect, then you can work a bit further up, or actually put your finger on the head of the brush, and it will give you a stronger finish. So I'm going to do a smaller area with the yellow, but I still want it a bit stronger. I do like nice strong colours on my cards. I'm not a subtle person when it comes to my colours. Life's too short to be subtle, isn't it, eh? Go for it. What's the worst that can happen? It's only a piece of card at the end of the day. Oh, so that's quite a nice little gradient. And then the last colour was my the blue. So I've got ocean blue here. I wonder if that's going to be. Let's have a look. Hopefully it won't be too strong. I haven't actually tried this one yet. It's quite skyish, isn't it? And summery or springy. Spring is just around the corner, isn't it? Please tell me it's just around the corner. Everyone's gone very quiet. Are you all just intently watching me? Is that what it is? Or have you all gone? Oh no, you are still there. Anyone got any questions while I'm having a play? Ian's watching now as well, so if I miss any questions or comments, Ian will be there. My trusty steed. There we are. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? A bit stronger. Ooh, we've just had some nice new stencils as well. We've had one of them is clouds, a nice cloud stencil. So that would be nice actually to use, wouldn't it? Ooh, you could have nice floaty light clouds on your card as well. There we are. So it's a bit textured, which is what I want, because it's, at the end of the day, it's sky, and sky isn't flat, is it? It's fluffy. So I'm going to have a quick squirt just to clean up this. Ooh, Gainer, how wide does the gap need to be between the two circles? Excellent question, Gainer. Well, what I did was, it depends on if you're using dies or not. If you're using dies, the two dies I used were so the cutting area was about this one was about 90 millimeters, so 9 centimeters, and then the inner one was about 65 millimeters, so 6.5 centimeters, so 2.5. No, yeah, so it's about one centimeter width. Is that right? Maybe a bit more than 1, maybe 1.5. Something like that. Ours is between 12 and 15 minutes. Yeah, that's about right, Ian. I knew you'd have the answer. Now, I think on the instructions, if I have a look at that, what does it say? So it says, because it says on the instructions, it doesn't say to do the partial die cutting. It's on about actually drawing lines to make a template that you then cut out with a craft knife. So on that it says use an 85mm circle die and then use a 70mm circle die. But I used those ones just because that's what we had, and it doesn't really matter as long as it fits within this area. It's not too close to the edges. It doesn't really matter too much, and you're not going to see most of it anyway, because you'll have your stamped image in the front of it. All right. I hope that makes sense. Right, so let me move my Sadie out the way for the moment, because I don't need her now. Yes, the other thing I was going to do was do a little bit of water splattering. So just spritz a little bit of water and splatter it. And then just give it a bit of a mop up. I probably left it a little bit too long. It has done a little bit. There's a little bit of a texture there. You can see it quite clearly on this one. You can see the little blobbies that are on there. So it's quite a subtle effect. So it's up to you if you want to do that or not. Right, so I'm going to colour my flowers quickly. So, the only colour I didn't pick out was a green. Which ones have I got? I decided to use the illustrators, the Spectrum illustrators this time. Let me see if I've got a green. Grab one of my tri-blends. Yeah, because I wanted to. Because I need to colour my leaves, don't I? Yeah, I'll go for this. So this is one of the tri-blend pens, and I'm going to go for the. Should I go for the dark or the medium? Go for the dark, because it'll stand out nicely then. So I'm just going to quickly colour my leaves. It's up to you how much work you want to put into this. You know, you can do all the dimensions and everything, but because this is quite a sort of a cartoony card, you don't really have to worry about being too realistic, I don't think. But that's up to you. So I'm just going to colour the little green bits in. My green leaves. And as you can see, because I'm colouring over the pigment inks with the alcohol pens, it covers it up quite nicely. And you don't have to worry about it bleeding or anything with the lines, but obviously because I've heat embossed. Ooh. Oh, you're welcome, gamer. Happy clappy. So then I'm just going to quickly colour some of these flowers as well. What colour is this? Duck egg. Why does this look green? I thought this was a duck egg blue. Who knows? I do love the smell of these pens though. These illustrators have got a really nice smell to them. Not so fussed on this colour really, I have to say. It's a bit too subtle for my liking. There we are. And then I use these colours. These ones are a bit more vibrant. What do you think what it is? Because I'm doing it over the other colour. It doesn't seem to be a particularly strong colour though. It doesn't seem to be duck egg blue at all. I wonder if the nibs have got mixed up. That's a nice colour. Purple violet. So I'll do this one in purple violet as well. So does everyone like the Fuzzies? Are you fans of the Fuzzies, or do you not like the cutesy style so much? Because some people don't like the cutie things, they prefer more realistic colours, realistic images. I'm a big fan of the cutesy stuff though. It's probably not a surprise for anyone that knows me. Nice colour. A few little blobby bits here and there. Don't want to miss those out. And one more. Just quickly whiz over this one. I think because I've embossed all the lines, I don't have to worry about staying within the lines. Just go over the whole thing, and it won't be a problem. Like so. Yep, the Robin one was very cute, wasn't he, at Christmas? I loved the Robin. He was one of the Fuzzies as well. Now, so that's my little flowers done. And I shall leave that to dry for a little bit, and then I will actually add a little bit of bling with my jelly roll pen after. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ground my flowers. There is a little blobby one. I'm not sure if it's in all of them actually. Yes, I think it is. It's in all of them. In every single set, it's got a little blobby stamp. I don't know what you would call that, but there's a little blobby stamp in every single set, and this is just a handy little one to use just for grounding. And I'm just going to use the same colour ink pad, so the same green I used on the base, and I'm just going to stamp it just randomly at the bottom by my flowers. and it just helps to give a little bit more interest and just grounds them a little bit. See, I'm thinking again. Don't think, Gavin. Just stamp. Well, I have got purple violet. There you are, purple violet. So that's close enough. Just give that a quick spritz just to clean it up. So it's a handy little stamp to have, that one is, because it's just, you don't think it's going to do much, but it does sort of just give a little bit of extra interest, a little bit of grounding to the base of the flowers. Hopefully you should be able to see that. Just about, all right. Right, so I'm going to put that to the side, and I'm going to get another piece of card, and this time I'm going to stamp Parker the puppy. So I need to stamp him twice. Once is going to be the full stamp, and then once is going to be just his head, because I'm going to cut his head out, and that's what is going to be wobbling. So this time I shall remember to use my anti-static. Just tap that all over. And now I'm going to try and make sure that I can actually fit. I should, in theory, Ian has told me I should be able to fit this on. I should be able to fit his whole body and a head on as well. So get my embossing powder ready. Ink him up. Make sure his nose is inked up well enough as well, because that's the only sort of solid part on this stamp really, is his nose. And I shall stamp that. I've got my stamping foam underneath as well. A good press, make sure his nose, because you always find that it's the centre of the stamps that miss. The outsides are usually fine, it's the centres that tend to miss. So well, that'll do. And then I just need to quickly ink up his head. And then just stamp that over there. Obviously you can use your stamp press if you want to. Hopefully, yeah. There we go. Pour on my powder. All over the place. Be very gentle when you tap off the excess as well, because you don't want to tap off any of the powder that's on your card. It does say on the instructions that this should take an hour as well. this card. I think that might be a bit optimistic. But there we go. As long as you enjoy it, that's the main thing, isn't it? You know, it takes you a little bit longer. Yeah, I'm just gonna heat this up. Everyone okay so far? Enjoying it? Any questions? It doesn't matter that my bottom layer isn't the best, because my top layer is going to be covering up the bottom layer anyway, so that was quite good, wasn't it? Right, so I think that's all done. All like that. Right, so I've got my main image there, and I've also got just my head. So leave that to cool for a couple of seconds. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out very quickly. So these are, because they're quite sort of just random images, they're quite rough anyway, so you don't have to be too particular about how you cut them out. It's nice, quite nice to leave a little bit of a border. Especially because of all the fluffy bits. You don't want to have to be going in and out on all of those. So as long as you go roughly around where the image is. That's the good thing about having a design that's not particularly precise, is it means you don't have to be particularly precise when you cut it out. It doesn't take too long really, does it? That's his body, the main one done. Like so. And then just need to cut out this one. Any hints or tips on cutting? Try different size. I tried different size scissors because, I mean, these are big scissors, and I tend to prefer using bigger scissors because you can get a longer cut, and they're easier to hold. Whereas smaller scissors, I find I'm a little bit more. I struggle a bit more with. Now, where am I going? Right, so that's the only thing I need to make sure is I only cut out his head. What's he going to say? Maybe I'll move the paper, not the scissors, and try different size scissors to see what suits you. I prefer a large one. Yeah. What he said. Yeah, so keep your scissors still and move your card. Rather than trying to move your scissors all the time. Yeah, and then just try different sizes. You're really cute. You're so cute. So that's my main layer, and then this is my head, which is going to actually go on the top, and that's going to be the wobbly bit. Pretty neat. All coming together nicely. I'll do my glitter on afterwards when I've done. No, I won't. I'll do it now. Before I stick it down. I'm just going to do a little bit of glittering. This is one of the jelly rolls. This is the clear jelly roll. Oh, what do they call it? The sparkle jelly roll or something or other. They're on. I have put them on in the category. So I'm just gonna glitter up me flowers a little bit because I do like a little bit of bling. And this is really nice, subtle, so fine, this glitter, and because it's the jelly roll, they do roll really well. Some gel pens, they don't tend to work very well, so these ones are fabulous. And a little goes a long way as well, so it's going to last you a long time. The clear one's good because I think the carrier is clear, and then the mica is it's sort of got a sort of a, I'm not sure if it's silver or not quite silvery actually on this. A silvery sort of mica. Who's that? Oh, hello Helen, didn't realise you were on. Have to leave you to get ready for school run. We'll catch up later. Thank you for joining us, Helen. There we are. So that's my jelly roll sparkle. You can probably just about catch a little bit of the sparkle in there. Which is nice. Right, what's next? Oh, I need to colour these now. So colouring is always a challenge for these sort of things, but with these they're quite easy because all I'm going to do is I'm just going to colour around the edges and do his paws a little bit. So I'm just going to use a brown ink. You could use a grey or whatever colour you would like, but I thought a brown would be quite nice because he's a little dog, a little puppy. And I'm just going to follow the squiggly bits basically. Oh, bless you. Ian's sneezing downstairs. So I'm just going to colour his paws a little bit more. If you're confident with colouring and using pens, then you could use alcohol pens if you wanted to. But the good thing about these stamps is you don't need to. You can just, it's just a hint of colour. That's what you're giving. One does want a hint of colour, you know. That's from the bird cage if anyone's interested. You could leave it black if you want, just black and white if you wanted to. Yeah, I think that'll do, won't it? I might go up on his legs a little bit more. I might do a little bit up his legs. Just a hint. And then I'm going to do his head as well. His wobbly head. So just quickly go around this. So you can see it's really easy to just get a little bit hint of colour on there. Try not to put too much on my brush at the time. So it's not too strong. Oh, he's got such a cute face, hasn't he? Here we are. A blue collar. Where's my lid? There's my lid. Shall I give him a blue collar? It would coordinate, wouldn't it? Now, where's my blue one? Of course, my blue one is quite big, isn't it? Let me clean this up. Let's put some and clean this up. If I don't clean as I go, then I end up getting in a right mess, and I put my hands in it and then touch the card, and and it all ends up a bit horrible. Trying to see if I've got a blue alcohol pen. A nice subtle blue. Just for you, Annie. Yeah, that'll do, I think. Just a little bit of blue on his collar. Here we are. That'll do, won't it? Just quite a nice subtle blue. Just a little hint of blueness. Right, so what's next? Let me have a look. Oh, I need to colour his ears, so I'm just going to use a little bit of, this is Portrait Pink. Now, is this the inside of his ears or the outside of his ears? Actually, it's probably the outside of his ears, isn't it? Oh no, it might be the inside of his ears. I think on the on Sadie the sheep, it's a bit more obvious that it's the inside of her ears. Yeah, that looks alright, doesn't it? It's quite cute. Oh, I like that. So I coloured his ears as well. See, on Sadie the sheep, I coloured her ears in the pink and the inside of her mouth there as well. And then I actually used some of the 3D gloss, clear gloss, on her eyes and her tongue and her little hoofs, is it? So what I'll do afterwards is I will, it would help if I actually did the top one as well, I will use some of the clear gloss on his nose. Just to make it nice and shiny. But I'm not going to do that at the moment because it will take a while to dry. Yeah, so that's those two coloured. Okay. Then the only other thing I need to do, which I haven't done yet, is this larger circle that I die cut earlier, which was the one that was about 9. Well, it's, I think it says 95mm. I think the one I ended up with was 98mm. So it doesn't matter if it's a little bit bigger. So I just need, because that's going to be going behind this, I just need to colour it with some of the blue, just so that it blends in a little bit better, so it doesn't look quite so obvious. So I'm going to get some of my blue and I'm just going to colour I wonder if I should do half of it in the blue and half in the yellow. What do you think? Because then it'll look even more. Or even just that much in the blue and then the rest in the yellow. Doesn't really matter too much because it's going to be, you're not going to see most of it anyway. Why not? Give it a go, shall I? So that's that bit in the blue, and then this bit I'll just quickly do in the yellow. Just so it doesn't look quite so stark and white. Like that. I'm going to do a quick splatter as well. Happy clappy. So a little bit of water and then happy clappy. Oh, thank you, Carolyn. It's a little bit less scary when you don't have to worry about colouring too much of it. If you just do the outside edge of your image, then you don't have to worry too much then, do you? Because some people are a little bit scared of colouring, me included. There we are, so that's that circle done. So then I quickly wipe that up. and then I need to put a hole through the middle of that. So on my mat here, I've actually got a sort of a grid, and I can work out where the centre is. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to by eye, it doesn't matter too much, just by eye match that up, and then draw a line in the centre there, and then draw a line down that way. Yeah, and then that is roughly my centre. So get the pokey tool and poke through. Like that. You're not going to see this bit anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's a little bit messy. And then that is going to be what I poke my brad through in a bit. Okay, so that's my hole through there. Now I just need to grab a quick brad. Oh, I think I might have a spare one in here somewhere. So I'm going to try and get into the thing first of all. There we are. Grab one of my little brads. They're so blooming little, I can't pick them out. You know where I can get a bigger spray bottle, do you, Karen? Oh, that's good. I wonder where that would be. It is around here, I just decided not to use it. So now all I need to do is I need to put my brad through the front of this, like that. So it pokes out the back. And then through my die cut circle. Make sure it's nice and flush. And then open out those little bits, the little feet. Or arms, whatever you call them. And there we are. So that is my, if I move it round now. I probably should have gone a bit higher. It doesn't matter. There we are. So that's my, it was quite nice actually having it graduated like that, doesn't it? Ooh. So that's the mechanism for that. So now I'm going to stick that onto my base card. So I'm going to do that with some foam pads. You could use foam tape if you wanted. And the only thing you need to make sure is that when you put your foam pads on the back that they don't get in the way of this circle, obviously, because that would interfere with the mechanism. And Ian's probably going to moan at me for using too many foam pads. Like that. But I like it to be nice and supported. Some around the corners as well. Just to make sure that it stays nice and secure. it's for a good cause though, Ian. And then I need one more there, I think. Like that. Ooh, do you think I should put some down the sides as well? And I'll cut this one in half and have two thinner ones down the side as well. I can never get these blooming foam pad backs off. One side is okay because it's got an overhang on it, but this side is a blooming nightmare. It will come off. Told ya. So I'll just put that there and then that one over that side. So it's not interfering with the circle in the middle. It's not a waste. Every pad is essential to the design and stability of my card. I need to make sure that it's strong and durable for when customers pick it up in the shop. Don't want it falling into pieces, you know. There we are. Make sure my card's around the right way as well. And then I'm going to put that in the middle there. Like so. Hee 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 ha ha ha, Ian says. There we are, so that's my card coming together. What else have I got to do? Right, so now I need to cut down this little bit of foam pad. See, I'm using every little bit of my foam pads. Because what I need to do now, I need to stick some of the foam pads to the circle that is peeking through there, because my my little friend is gonna sit on that. But the only thing is I need to make sure that my foam pads don't interfere with the movement. So I might need to make them just a smidge smaller. So basically, so that when it rotates, it doesn't butt up against the semicircle or anything. It's not in the way at all. So I'll do the same with this one. Just make this one a smidge smaller. To it, and if you sort of angle them a little bit, then there's more chance that it'll fit nicely. There we are. Just check to make sure that it's okay. Yeah, that's fine. And now I need to stick my body onto this, and then what I'm going to make sure that I do is make sure that wherever I stick it, I cover up the brad, because obviously you don't want to see the brad, and then you can stick in wherever you want really. So I'm going to stick in up a little bit, and go up a little bit as well, can't I? Because I've got room. And stick in there. I know, don't get me started, Donna, but we do recycle it because we brick it. We put it in our eco bricks, so it doesn't go in the bin. There we are. So that's my little doggy. And now he goes backwards and forwards. He looks like he's drunk, doesn't he? And now I need to put his head on. So this is where my little spiral die comes into play. So it's the one that I showed you earlier from the pack of 3. This one is the medium one. So you've got small, medium and large, so I've just used the medium one on this one. And what I need to do is I need to remember which way I need to stick it. So I think, I can never remember. Yeah, so the centre of it, I'm going to put a little bit of a foam pad. So whee. Now here we go again. I've got to try and get this off now. So that I need to stick in the very centre of my wibbly wobbly die. And then take off the backing of that. And then that is going to stick on the back of my head. And then this part is what I actually stick onto, onto the front, onto this face here. So I just need to get a little bit of glue. And then this goes on the back. So I just need to glue the end of it on the back. Just there. So a nice and then I'm just going to stick that right in the centre. Hold that there for a few seconds so it grabs. Yeah, has the video ended? Or is it just on mine? Oh, we are still going, are we? Oh, for some reason it says it's ended on mine. Oh, the wonders of Facebook, eh? Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the head that I cut out right onto the foam pads that are there. The little foam pad in the middle of my wobbler. So just make sure that it's in the right place. And then just stick that on there. Really don't know what's going on with Facebook at the moment. It's all very random. Thank you, Tina. I am still here. Oh, what's Annie saying? I didn't realise. Oh, I didn't realise it was going to be a slider car. Just thought it was a case of sticking the spiral on the back of the dog. So I can't wait. Yeah, yeah. So basically, you can just have it as a wobbler if you want. You don't have to do the wobbly, the extra wobbly thing. You can just do it as a simple wobbler. But now you'll see that my little dog's head actually wobbles as well. It's quite fun, isn't it? And he wobbles from side to side, as if he's drunk. Right, so the very last thing I need to do, I just need to do a quick sentiment, just to finish him off. And then I will be all done for today. Now, where have I put my piece of card? There's my piece of card. So I'm going to do exactly the same as I did before. A little bit of heat embossing. Get me powder ready. And my piece of card. So I'm going to use one of the sentiments that come with Parker the puppy. Happy birthday from the dog. Just quickly put some powder on that. I'll clean all this up afterwards. I'm making the right mess now. Everything's going all over the place. There we go. That a quick cool. And then I just need to give it a bit of colour. So I'll use my green again. And then what I will do is I will cut that down so that it's a bit smaller afterwards. So I'm just going to whack some of the green all the way over the top. And my sentiment. Just to change the colour. Like that. Wipe so that any ink on top of the embossing shows up a bit better. And then you can use a die if you wanted to cut that out. If you've got a nice fancy die or anything like that, you could use that. I'm just going to use a pair of scissors. Smidge off the bottom as well. That'll do. A couple of foam pads on the back of that. Now where am I going to put it? Decisions. Oh, it's been a bit longer than an hour, isn't it? So, I think it's going to have to go down the bottom, isn't it? Because I can't cover up my lovely flowers. There we are. And then the only other thing that I will do afterwards is I'll use my clear gloss, or you could use glossy accents if you've got glossy accents. But this is the clear gloss, Anita's clear gloss that we sell in the shop. It's got a nice fine nozzle on the end of it, so you can get to all the little detailed areas really easily. So what I would do is I would just give his little nose a bit of the clear gloss. You could do his ears as well if you wanted, anything you like. But there we are. So he's got a little wobbly head, and he also wobbles from side to side. And on my original card, my Sadie the sheep, she's got a little wobbly head as well, and then she jumps over the fence. And everyone happy? What do you think? Is it a sort of card that you'd make yourselves? Everyone enjoy that? Thank you everyone. Thank you for your comments. If you've got any questions, we'll have all the cards and everything in the shop. So if you've got any questions, if you're stuck with anything, feel free to ask. There's also the sheet that I said about that you can download. It's called the Woolly Slider card. So all the instructions are on there for how to make the sheep card, but obviously you can adapt it to any one of the fuzzies. Ooh, Ian. Oh, let me just quickly show you the new products. We've had some new stuff delivered today. I think that they have been launched today as well, so we are allowed to show you. So we've got a couple of new stencils. So we've got waves, seashells, which I think is quite Art Deco as well. Clouds, which is the one I mentioned earlier, and that size of cloud will be really nice actually on this card. And then there's also one called palm trees. So you've got a couple of clouds, seagulls, and a nice desert island. So those will be on the website very soon. I'll make sure that I put them on just after I finish the live. So those are 6x6 stencils. I think they're $3.99 each, those ones. We've also got some new craft dies by Sue Wilson. This one's called Beach Palms. How many dies? You've got 4 dies in there, so you get a nice outer die, a couple of circle dies, a nice bit of detail in that, and then you get the actual palm die in there as well, so that's quite nice. Very seasidey themed. This one, I know somebody that's going to love this one. The Beach Lighthouse. It's a lovely one, that one is, and I think they all mix and match as well, so you can use this outer layer with that die and vice versa. They all sort of mix and match with each other. So that's the lighthouse one, which is nice. It's got a little bit of debossing in that as well. And a porthole. We do love a porthole. This one's called Beach Sunset, with a nice summery beach scene. Oh, and a nice bit of debossing on the corners there as well. And there is a 4th one. Where's the 4th one? There's the fourth one. And this one is called Beach Sailboat. That's a nice one. These ones I think will be great for men's cards as well. You can do quite a lot with that. So that's a really nice one as well, with the sailboat on it. A couple of other ones we've got. We've got this one which is called Beach Waves, which I love. I think it's fab, that one is. It's just one die, but it cuts out all of those little swirly, wavy things. They're really nice, they are. And this one, which is one of our favourites as well, is the Bubbles die. Lots of little holes, so you can make your own confetti. And that'll be fab for all the sea themed cards. And then the last one we've also got is the Hawaiian shirt, which actually makes a stand-up card if you wanted it to, because the very top of it, the outer cutting edge, the very top of it doesn't have a cutting area, so it'll cut everything else apart from that bit at the top there, so it means that you can actually make it into a folding card to stand up, or you could just use it on another card if you wanted. So there's some nice little extra bits in there as well, sunglasses and ooh, a nice cocktail. So yeah, so that's fab as well. So they will all be on the website before tomorrow, and probably in the next hour or so. So there we are, that's everything. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll upload the video to YouTube. So if you haven't been able to watch it live, then you can always watch it back on Facebook and our YouTube channel. Don't forget to share if you haven't already shared it with everyone, and we shall see you again soon. Thank you very much. Take care all. Bye.